thank you for coming. The members of RSVP, known as the Retired and Senior Volunteer Program of Montgomery County and Radford, and I want to welcome you today to our 4th Fun, Food, and Fashion Show. It's hard to believe we've been doing this now 4 times. This is our largest fundraising event for our programs. Over 100 RSVP volunteers have been involved in making today's luncheon and show possible. It's also been a community effort with many donations from local businesses, the thrift shops, the church here at St. Paul's, and you that are in the audience for supporting us by purchasing a ticket. Thank you. The proceeds today will go to our scholarship fund, in which we award 2 $1,000 scholarships to Montgomery County or Radford High School seniors each spring, and to fund projects for our military troops and veterans, nursing home residents, and to provide transportation. We hope that you enjoyed your lunch today, and again we thank Margie for coordinating it. And we also thank St. Paul United Methodist Church for allowing us to use their wonderful facility. And we thank the volunteers who prepared the delicious lunch. I recently read that the value of previously owned stuff in thrift stores, it's a tongue twister, during 2012 exceeded $13 billion in the U.S. This is a trend that continues to grow as we look for ways to be thrifty and to recycle. One of the most important reasons that we highlight the nonprofit stores is because not only do our volunteers work in them, but they provide support services to those in need, to the animals living in the shelters, and to those in job training. For the past couple of weeks, they've been busy at the clothing banks assisting families with vouchers to obtain back-to-school clothing. So it's very important that you know about these thrift stores and clothing banks in our area. Today we have some gorgeous, handsome, brave, and hardworking volunteers who will be modeling fantastic, affordable outfits from our area clothing banks and thrift shops. Those are listed in your programs. So take sometime this summer and pay them a visit. Not only do they have clothing, they have costumes, vintage clothes, housewares, and furniture. You're going to be astonished today by the clothes and accessories that the models found in our Christiansburg, Blacksburg, and Radford stores, right here in our own back door. They've created artistic wonders out of chic thrift shop finds and given new life to old used clothing. One gentleman in the show today found a shirt for $1 with the price tag of $89 still on it. So he found a good bargain, I'd say. The shops are full of hidden treasures like these, and our models have given a lot of time today to prepare for this show, and I want to thank each of them for the time that they've given to be a part of the event. They probably can't hear me because they're backstage. But now I want to introduce our coordinator of the fashion show for the 4th year, Shirley Peterson. Her passion for fashion has formed the show, and she has worked tirelessly with the models by helping everyone to accessorize their ensemble, as well as writing each of the descriptions you're going to hear in just a little bit. She and Phil Pappas will be guiding us through the show today, so please just sit back and enjoy. Here's Shirley.
Thank you, everyone. I'm so excited to show off our amazing models and their fashions. But I must ask you to have a little patience with me. I have misplaced my glasses, and I'm darn near blind without them. So if I stumble, and my co-host went to find them, so he's sort of missing at the time. But I'll go ahead and introduce him. I'm sure he'll be out here in a second. I'd like to introduce him. Actually, standing before me, standing before you is a man who has no fear. He will be providing both fashion descriptions and commentaries. Phil has never volunteered to host a fashion show. So this should be funny. Thank you. He needs that encouragement. He really does. And he was a sweetheart to do this. And I also want to thank his wife for giving him up to do this. So we appreciate that also. And she is also here too. We're not going to introduce her. She doesn't want to be. Is that correct, Phil? My glasses have just been found. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. Okay, I will tell you a little bit more about Phil. He is an RSVP member. He's been involved in the Montgomery County Emergency Assistance Program for over 30 years, serving for 9 years as president. He is a retired architect, and he is presently busy designing and remodeling an old house into a rectory and home for a newly hired priest for St. Peter's Anglican Catholic Church in Christiansburg. May I introduce Phil Pappas.
Well, thank you, and I think I'm happy to be here today. Can y'all hear me back there? Can you turn the music down? I'll turn that up a little bit. Is that any better?
You're asking the wrong person. I don't know what a knob to. There's 20 knobs here.
Sound person? She's on the way.
I think that my voice is so loud, and I don't really need a microphone. And then Phil's soft Southern voice is a little different than mine.
Believe it or not, we've actually had 2 rehearsals. Yeah. I'm waiting for him to turn the music down slightly. I can go ahead and start. You know, I really can't believe that Shirley talked me into this. But I think the day that I agreed to was the day I forgot to take my medication.
I took mine that day.
Well, I'm glad you did. But, you know, actually once people realized that I would be doing this, I got a lot of words of encouragement. My wife wasn't quite as encouraging. If I can recollect what she said, I think it was something like, "Have you totally lost your mind?" But now, in her defense, I can understand why she said that. I am not, believe it or not, a very high-fashion person. I think the people that see me on a regular basis are going to vouch to that. We had a couple of models today that didn't recognize me this moment today. But you know, I'm just not a person who likes to do a lot of shopping. I don't like to spend a lot of money on clothes.
He still has his confirmation money.
It's at the bank. And but recently I did buy a very nice sport coat. I bought it at the McKeith thrift store for a whopping $3, which was, you know, just right in my price range. So purchasing clothes at rock bottom prices, you cannot beat, believe me, going to a thrift store. And today our models are going to prove that to you. So Shirley, are you ready to roll?
I'm ready. Our first model is Peggy Bruger, another busy RSVP member. She enjoys being active at the Blacksburg Clothing Bank, the Christmas store, and her church. Now, Peggy did an amazing thing in 2002. She attended the Summer Olympics in London, joining a group of Christian ladies serving women and children. They walked 12 miles a day, climbed many steps, and conquered the London Underground system.
Now Peggy is modeling a multi-season ensemble, jacket by Analog. The fabric is cotton with shades of crimson, tangerine, and cinnamon blue gray with brocaded swirls. The brass buttons with a notch collar complete the look. The top is a weathered red shell by Raffaella. And also, Raffaella makes those too. The trousers, the top, the jacket, each one costs $1, and they will purchase at the McKeith Thrift Store in Blacksburg. So, for $3.
Our next model is Marjorie Wright. Marjorie has a unique talent. She has been volunteering for 10 years in various nursing homes. Her gift is she simply sits and talks and listens to the residents, offering friendship, hope, and care to those who are so often forgotten. So when you get a minute, go to a nursing home, see someone.
As a visitor. Although it won't be long before some of us will be there, I'm afraid. We love having Marjorie model. She brings sophistication and understated pizzazz. Yes. Her dress is designed by, it's either Karen Scott or Karen Stevens. I don't know which one. You got both of them here. They are both well-known designers. They are rayon fabric in a brilliant blue. Blouse on.
It's the top part of the outfit.
Blouse on is embedded with seated pearls and detailed decorative stitching. The jewel neckline and scalloped hem complement the entire look. Adding cream shoes with pearl jewelry are good choices. Now the dress was purchased at Goodwill for a whopping $3.50.
Our next model is Tommy Susanna. Tommy serves on our RSVP council. I'll give you a chance to, clap for Tommy. He volunteers at the thrift store, the McKeith thrift store in Christiansburg, that is, the Christmas store, and is a board member for McKeith. Tommy is also a very valuable volunteer with his church, the Holy Spirit. In his words, he has been schooled by many wonderful people since his 4-year induction into volunteering, and we're thankful for him.
Now, after an afternoon of swimming, sailing, or just hanging out, Tommy's attire covers all bases. Should we,
I tripped on my mark.
the marker, we gotta put a thinner marker down there, I can see that.
That's theater talk,
Yeah, we're big in theater, so we know all that, like break a leg stuff and all that.
Did you know that Shakespeare goes back to the days of Shakespeare? The first actor to trip on his mark,
No, I
broke
don't.
his leg,
Really?
and that's where the saying, break a leg.
Oh, yeah. So y'all can all take that back to the home and do
I
something
hope
with
there aren't
it.
any English, English teachers here.
There are.
Well, that was certainly a lot of brilliant information. But thank you anyway, Tommy. I know you've been studying a long time to come up with that one, yeah. He is sporting a classy shirt by Towncraft in red and white checkered cotton, wrinkle-free with short sleeves over nautical swim shorts in cardinal red. The design touches of blue and white. Now the shirt, the shorts, the hat each cost $1, and they were bought at the McKeith thrift store. Tommy looks great in that outfit, but I think the jury is still out on those legs.
Our next model is Jane O'Keefe. Jane is a very effective volunteer. She serves as a VICAP counselor advising Medicare patients on insurance issues. The love of her life is her dog, Lord Percy, who she shares with residents at English Meadows. Also, she's a master gardener.
Now, when purchasing a raincoat, other than trying to keep dry, a raincoat, a wise choice is one that is timeless with classic tailoring. This hits all bases with pleating and plaquettes. On cuffs, what? Plackets? What? Plackets. On cuffs and the back of waistline. And in a bold shade of yellow. The skirt is whimsical with gals and dogs on yellow background. The coat is about weatherproof, which is good, for $3.50 at Goodwill, and the skirt is by Buyer for $3.50 also at Goodwill. If only Columbo would get a coat at that place, you know, too.
Our next model is Doris Smith. After 40 years of working at VT in the Ag department, Doris is now volunteering at Lewis Gale Hospital. She's at the reception desk, greeting and assisting, and has been there for over 6 years. Doris is also a member of RSVP. Stop by and see her. You will get a big, big smile and any information you might need.
Well, I think you're right. Christmas is really not that far away, and most thrift stores will soon be featuring holiday attire and wares. Doris found this amusing shirt by speculation with its fun Christmas motif in easy wear cotton. Adding pure red trousers by Barn Worth in a poly blend, wearing holiday shoes and holiday jewelry adds a bit of sparkle. The shirt and the trousers were each $3.75, and they were purchased at Goodwill.
And I think we forgot to mention her hat, which she has as a little jaunty on her head. She looks so cute in that. We did her hair, but she wanted you to see the hat. Our next model is Bob Chafin. Bob is one of our RSVP volunteers. He works the senior lunch program, delivers bread in the food bank, and volunteers at St. Paul's. He is also a carpenter and a volunteer handyman at the McKeith thrift store.
Now, Bob is wearing a well-tailored suit by Haspel in blue and white traditional cotton seersucker, which is known for staying cool on the hottest days. Woven to provide small air pockets for greater breathability. Paired with a silk tie with red and blue triangles, this is a definite Southern look made famous by Gregory Peck in the movie To Kill a Mockingbird. Now the suit was $10 and the tie was $1, and it was purchased at the McKeith thrift store. And I also think if they ever remake that great movie, that Bob would take Gregory Peck's place perfectly.
Our next model is Marion Calso. Marion is definitely amazing. She's an extremely active 89-year-old volunteer. She also volunteers at the Margaret Beek School. She reads to the children there. She's active in her church and volunteers at Warm Hearth. That's when she's not busy traveling the world.
A patriotic ensemble for Marion, starting with a flag red pullover with long sleeves and 100% wearable cotton by Laura Scott. The jacket is by Irwin in true navy with white piping, trousers in pristine white. Pristine white. Real white trousers. The jacket, the top, the trousers were all a total of $5, and they were purchased at the Y thrift store. Now, with that outfit, I think we should all stand up and sing the Star Spangled Banner. Oh, say.
I think we'll do that at another time. I'm not a singer. Thank you, Marion.
You're welcome.
Our next model is Mary Atkins. Mary is a McKeith volunteer 2 to 3 days a week. She's a member of the RSVP Advisory Council from October through April. I'm sorry, I've got that wrong. She does something different. From October through April, she's at New River Community College. She assists her husband Roger with the fiddle and banjo shows, which have become part of the Crooked Road music venues. Mary has been and still is an Aflac associate for 25 years. I really messed up on this, Mary. Can you do the Aflac quack for us?
Mary's looking ahead to dressing for the holidays. She's wearing a Bob Mackie sweater set with a Chanel. And also a Chanel type style sweater in acrylic and cotton, featuring exquisite hand-sewn beading and a meticulous harlequin pattern encrusted with sequins. The sweater set is also banded in cobalt blue at cuffs and neckline, adding some pop. The trousers are a wool blend by Macy C. The sweater set is $10. Trousers were $5. The silver strands were $4, and the purse and shoes were $5. And all were purchased at the McKeith thrift store.
Our next model is Fred Bruger. Fred is a retired minister, a member of RSVP, and assists at the Blacksburg Clothing Bank and the Christmas store. An avid golfer, you may catch him on the course most days.
A full-time retiree and full-time golfer, Fred shows us the proper attire for the golf course, wearing a Ralph Lauren polo shirt in blue with a thin azalea stripe. The golf shorts are in cool khaki by Sylvain. The shirt and the shorts were each $1, VT hat was 50 cents, and they were all purchased at the McKeith Thrift Store in Blacksburg. Now, if Fred could only learn to keep the ball in the fairway instead of the woods, more people would be able to enjoy that activity.
Our next model is Peggy Duncan. Peggy is a longtime volunteer of RSVP in McKeith, the Bloodmobile and Christiansburg Rec Center. Peggy has had to curtail her volunteering this year because of illness. Her heart is with us, and we hope to see her soon on our volunteer list. Peggy has always been very gracious in appearing in our fashion shows, no matter how she feels. She's always been there for us. Thank you, Peggy.
Not every woman wears fuchsia as cleverly as Peggy. The jacket is by Briggs in a soft poly blend with zippered closing. By adding a scarf of the same shade, it provides a large pop of color. The trousers by Chico are tailored for comfort and style. Double seams and tucks of slimming. Fabric is spandex blend. She's also added an Alfani silk blouse with a draped neck in fuchsia and black. Something every woman should have. I forgot to give you the price here. The trousers were $5, the pullover was $3, and the jacket was $6, all purchased at the McKeith Thrift Store, Christiansburg.
Our next model is Joan Grayson. Joan is an RSVP member who volunteers at the Blacksburg Clothing Bank. She donates a lot of food to the McKeith Food Drive. I couldn't get a lot of information on Joan. She's very shy, very quiet, and just a wonderful person. And we're happy that she's here today.
Joan is wearing a striking two-piece dress in a geranium red contemporary print with touches of green. The skirt has a bit of a flare with a flounce adding interest. The top sports a V-neck and with a comfortable loose cut. The dress packs lots of charm and is a perfect choice for a petite frame. Don't we wish we all had one? She has added sling-back shoes in moss green and is wearing vintage jewelry and carrying a purse that adds corresponding color. The dress was from the McKeith Thrift Store in Blacksburg, and it was $2.
Our next model is Jim Webster. Jim is a former teacher working full-time at the library at Radford University. But he still finds time each week to volunteer after holding a full-time job.
I think we have another leg problem coming up here. But Jim is the genuine Hokie. Class of '86, wearing an orange VT shirt of 100% cotton and shorts with licensed Tech logo. The hat by Teamster, Tech Shoes Forever Collective. The shoes are $4.95 from Goodwill. The shirt, shorts, and hat each $2 at the McKeith Thrift Store in Christiansburg. And it won't be long before football starts.
That's right.
Phil, do you think he takes that little stuffed turkey to bed with him at night? What do you think?
I'm surprised the turkey goes to bed with him.
Our next model is Dot Finch. there are 3 things in life that Dot truly cares about. They are animals, animals, and more animals. Dot volunteers with the Animal Alliance organization, working and feeding feral cats, then taking them to get neutered to control the cat population. She's also active in the Republican Women's Committee and serves on the board of RSVP. And the reason that Dot is in this, her workout clothes is, frankly, I've never seen her in anything else. So we thought this was a good choice.
You will see Dot around town in her workout garb. Dot heads to the club every morning and some afternoons. Thrift stores are great places to stock up on workout clothing. Dot is wearing an athletic top by Jockey in cotton and spandex. Her pants by Cynthia Rowley. Again, cotton and spandex. Pack some interest with the white stripe on the outside seams. Now the jacket is by Oleg Cassini.
That's good.
With white and black blocking. The pants were $4, the top $1, the jacket $4. Again, purchased at the McKeep thrift store. And I assume you will be at the gym at 5 in the morning?
Yes.
With her?
No.
Talking to you. It's obvious you've been there too often. Thank you.
Thank you, Dot. Krista Hinkleman is our next model. She is an RSVP volunteer and donates many items to our store, and always has a gift for someone that she's working with or is friends with. She works at the Bloodmobile and is always ready to help anyone in any way. Her motto is, I try to learn something new every day.
Now, Krista is wearing a patio dress, which is suitable for a morning visit to the market, entertaining at lunch on her deck at the lake. The aquamarine and bronze design with hand-painted buttons and a yoked bodice. A bodice. I haven't bought many bodices lately.
But I bet you've looked at a few.
I try. I am married, you know. But that doesn't stop you, does it? No, I don't know.
He's been happily married for 52 years to a lovely lady.
Did you say happily married? Happily, okay.
Happily married.
I didn't think you were supposed to add any words to that. And she added sandals and a fun necklace and a straw hat. They're very complimentary. The dress is $4, the sandals $3, and the hat $1. They're all purchased at the McKeep thrift store in Christiansburg. And I think what Krista learned today was never to have me describe her outfit again. I think we're having a break at this time, is that correct? So, if anybody wants to, I think put in a bid down at the bidding place.
I'm sorry to take the microphone on. Not really. No, this is your last chance to bid on the auction. Also, if you'd like to purchase any jewelry or just take a breather, you have 15 minutes to do that. Okay, everybody. We're ready to start with Ray Lyons. Ray Lyons is our next model. Ray is a retiree of Appalachian Power who now shares his free time and energy volunteering for RSVP. He helps when the Little Leaguers are here for their World Series. He also helps out at the free clinic and volunteers his time mowing and recycling. Ray recently told me he is very fluent in Japanese. What can you say, Phil?
Judo and karate.
I like a man with a lot of talent. Speaks a lot of languages, right? Well, Ray is wearing the official apparel of the Korean martial arts known as Taekwondo. The fabric is a cotton blend, is loosely fitted, and necessary if one is to use foot and hand strikes. The V-neck jacket is worn by the World Taekwondo Federation, which is now an Olympic sport. And the jacket and trousers each cost $2, and the scarf was $1, and it was purchased at the McKee thrift store in Christiansburg. And I would not mess with Ray if I was you.
Our next model is Doris McElrich. Doris is a retired educator for over 30 years and has offered her time to volunteer at various nursing homes and at the Blacksburg Clothing Bank.
Now the jackets are indispensable in our wardrobes, and today Doris is wearing a true red double-breasted one, well tailored by Relativity, adding white trousers and a square neck shell, highlighting a red belt and carrying a Vera Bradley purse. This is a smart, attractive ensemble that can take you anywhere. Now the jacket is 50 cents. The belt and chain, a silver chain, is 50 cents, and as well as the trousers were 50 cents. All purchased at the McKee thrift store in Blacksburg. It's amazing how time flies, but Doris taught my daughter in the 4th grade 40 years ago. But I do believe that Doris started teaching when she was 16, I think.
Our next model is Theda Webster. Theda is a member of RSVP and McKee. She is an excellent seamstress and hand quilter. She also volunteers for the Christmas Tote Bag Project and helps with any sewing projects that are needed at the McKee thrift store. Her love and expertise in sewing has given many recipients a touch of joy.
Theda is charming in this stunning China blue two-piece ensemble designed by Henry Lee and proudly crafted in the USA. The jacket has a braided swirl design with fabric-covered buttons. The true elegance of this dinner suit asks for very little accessorizing. Theda complements the look with pearls and gold and a silver pin. The suit, unbelievable, this one was $10. The pin was $5, the pearls $2, and the purse $1. It's a great outfit to impress that special person.
Our next model is Bill Vest. Bill is one of RSVP's most reliable, affable volunteers. He enjoys working with students at the reality store, supplies for seniors, the beans and rice program, and is always on track for mailings. He also can grill a great hot dog for friends and family.
Now, Bill is the ultimate, he is the ultimate outdoor chef. He is wearing a no-wrinkle men's shorts by Dockers, a navy and white tropical shirt by Brenex. No, Brno. Brno made this one. In a rayon blend topped off with the important chef's hat and apron. The shorts and chef's hat were $2, purchased at the Radford Clothing Bank. The shirt was $3, purchased at Goodwill. Now, I know I speak for all of the ladies here today, but I would never trust a man that carries an extra wiener in his pocket. Now, I don't know why you think that's funny, but I know all of you know that meat should always be kept refrigerated. Now, if Bill would carry a few ice cubes in his pocket, it would probably pass the health code, I believe.
Our next model is Marjorie Vitale. Margie needs no introduction, but when I asked Margie to list some of her volunteer commitments, we had to order a new ream of paper. She works at the Women's Resource Center, Christmas store, and is volunteer manager for the McKeep thrift store. She normally is out there 6 to 7 days a week. We really cannot mention all of the awards and all of the places that Margie volunteers.
And Margie is making a very feminine statement with her black organza full skirt. It shows a handkerchief hemline and a romantic pattern splattered with coins, sequins, and jewels. This gypsy-like skirt is worn with a sleeveless shell and a glowing tangerine. The skirt was $4 and the shell was $3, purchased at the McKeep thrift store, Christiansburg. Now, if we could only increase Margie's metabolism, we could get so much more work out of her.
Our next model, be ready gals, is Matt Nottingham. There was a rumor that Matt was with the Witness Protection Agency program. I may have started that rumor. And I started it because of his quest to remain incognito. However, he has shared some interesting information with us this year. He raises goats. He's on the board of McKeep. He's an advocate for good food for good people, which is an association that works with farmers markets and local food growers.
And ladies, I have to warn you not to rush the stage or I will have to call security. Matt is handsome and suave in his tux, and a well-fitting tux accents the male physique. The fabric is gabardine blend. That was the other suit. This one is gabardine blend and allows ease of movement. The suit is by First Night, the bow tie is silk, and the shirt is Pima cotton with proper cufflinks. The tux is $10, and the bow tie was $1, and the cuffs were $1
Wow.
at the McKee Crystal in Blacksburg. Do you think the goats are in the protection program?
I think they're all in the protection program. Our last model, although she needs no introduction to RSVP volunteers, she is generous, kind, and beautiful, inside and out. Angela is the director of the RSVP program. She and her staff oversee over 300 volunteers and works with 80 nonprofit agencies while supervising numerous ongoing fundraising projects, as this one.
Angela is wearing an impressive pantsuit by Worth Petites in a summer melon shade in 100% cotton. The jacket with its detailed vertical lines and zipper produce a most flattering appearance. The suit was $8, the scarf $1, and the blouse $3 purchased at the McKee Thrift Store in Christiansburg. Angela is another tireless worker, and we first met over 30 years ago when we were on the McKee board. And in fact, she was on the very first McKee board, which was started in 1975. Wow. And we're still here.
I'd now like to introduce our backstage help. We have two wonderful ladies that helped with getting the models dressed, making sure they got out here, and all the little jobs that we asked them to do. I would like to introduce Dina Flincham, and I'd like to introduce Sally Ann. Sally Anna, my best friend, and I can't remember her last name. I was a little nervous.
There goes that friendship.
Thank you, girls. You did such a great job, and I really appreciate it. And I know they do too. Thank you. We'll now have the models coming up to the stage. Oh, I forgot somebody. Uh-oh, I'm not going to be invited to another party at the Vitalis. Joe Vitale, who's working backstage with the music and sound. Joe? 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 It's the last party I'm going to be invited to, I know it.
I just want to say thank you to Shirley and Phil. I was backstage, so I didn't hear everything that was going on out here, but I heard a lot of laughter. So I can't wait to see the video to find out what they said. But thank you. Give them a hand.